I have this new 14700K, but I can't seem to make any sense of it. Spoiler, the results are disappointing or confusing to say the least. Let me tell you why. To begin, this i7 14700K is a mid-high to high-end representative of Intel's new Raptor Lake refresh. It has 20 cores, which consists of 8 P cores and 12 E cores, giving you a total of 28 threads. The P cores have a base clock of 4.3 GHz and can boost up to 5.6 GHz. The E cores, on the other hand, has a base clock of 2.5 GHz and can go up to 4.3 GHz. So who is this 14700K going up against? 1. Its predecessor, the 13700K, and 2. Its closest gaming competitor, the 7800X3D. Motherboard is this new Z790-A gaming Wi-Fi 2 for both Team Blue CPUs and an ASUS TUF B650M Plus for the 7800X3D. The GPU of choice is the RTX 4070. Take a look at these numbers. First game, Counter-Strike 2. The 14700K delivers similar performance as the 13700K as well as the 7800X3D. I thought the 14700K would win this round, but clearly I was wrong. Well, at least for our next esports title, Valorant, the 14700K beats the 37700K with a 10 to 20 FPS gap. But team rate is still pretty strong. The 7800X3D is still a superior gaming CPU. Okay, next AC Valhalla. The 14700K takes a slight lead over the other two CPUs in 1080p, but does not do so in 1440p. Well, Valhalla is still a GPU-bound game, so it's not surprising to see such numbers as most of the work is done by the RTX 4070. And for the next two heavy AAA titles, Starfield and Cyberpunk 2077, let's go with Starfield first. Starfield could either still be poorly optimized or relies heavily on the GPU. All three setups barely reach 60 FPS on 1080p and less on 1440p. And likewise for Cyberpunk, the 4700K may have a slight lead over the 3700K and the 7800X3D, but since the gap is so small, I would say all three CPUs are on par with each other. That said, all three CPUs deliver great performance with the RTX 4070 even with Ray Tracing Ultra turned on. Okay, enough gaming benchmarks, let's go to a happier place. The 4700K may not have a great showing in gaming, but it sure shows its true form in productivity. In Blender, it beats the 3700K and sweeps the 7800X3D with almost 200 points. The 4700K also sweeps in V-Ray, beating its cousins with more than 3000 points. It is also very nice to see the 4700K outperforming the competition in both Cinebench R23 as well as the new 2024 version. There's a nice gap in points for the multi-core test, giving the 4700K a clear win. The 4700K runs at a pretty okay temperature during gameplay. I used an ML360 Illusion to cool both Intel CPUs, so an average of 66 degrees on the 4700K in Cyberpunk 2077 seems pretty reasonable. However, it does get really hot when you put it in super loads such as Cinebench 2024. An average of 83 to 84 degrees C with a max of 93, that's really toasty. Mind you, that's a 360mm AIO, but I am not done yet. The 14700K drinks a lot of power for an i7 CPU, 184 watts during gameplay and a whopping 280 watts in Cinebench 2024. And I also saw it reach almost 300 watts in Cinebench R23. That's really a lot of power. It's really difficult to place this 14700K, but I'm gonna say it, if you own a 13700K, don't bother. If you are a gamer and own a 7800X3D, don't bother. If you want to build a high-end gaming PC, you can look at, from Team Blue, the 12600K, perhaps a 13700K, and from Team Red, the 5600X, 7600X, 5800X3D, and perhaps this 7800X3D. Put the money that you save on the CPU to a better GPU. The difference in gaming performance between the 13700K and 4700K, 7800X3D and 4700K just does not warrant an upgrade. I do not have the pricing for the 4700K, but if rumors are true that the 4700K will be of similar price as the 13700K at launch, then all the more gamers don't buy the 4700K now. Point of note, I did not overclock this 4700K, it is just pure performance out of the box. So if you are a creator and you want to push for the best, you may consider this 14700K. The sweeping scores on Blender, V-Ray and Cinebench show that Intel knows what it's doing when it comes to creation and productivity. I know that the 7800X 3D may not be the best representative for productivity, but it does show a footing against the other two Intel CPUs. However, like the gamer, if you really own a CPU like the 3700K or even the 7700X, I would think twice about getting this 14700K. Perhaps I should compare the 4700K against the 7700X. That will be a great idea for our next video. In addition, if you plan to get a 4700K, you will need to set aside extra money for a new motherboard such as this Z790-A Gaming Wi-Fi 2, a 360mm AIO, and a bigger power supply to accommodate the massive 300-watt power usage. So yes, you decide. And just something to ponder about. Is this 4700K meant to be just a simple refresh for Intel? Is Intel pulling such a stunt for marketing, or they're trying out this new system where they just want to have a small upgrade over their previous generation CPUs and perhaps push for something greater when the next gen actually launches? For mine, I see motherboard, some upgrade. You can watch my video to see how it's changed. But this 4700K refresh is just too small of an upgrade to even warrant to be called an upgrade. So I'm not so sure about Intel's direction. I'm not very sure about the entire ecosystem. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So if you like this review, make sure to smash the thumbs up as well as the subscribe buttons. And I also recommend this other video here. Make sure to come back to my channel for perhaps a comparison between the 4700K and the Ryzen 7 7700X. See you in the next video.